Hello there. So, the French President Emmanuel Macron is being given a massive welcome by King Charles III. Wonder if there's a plan hatching for us to hand over Buckingham Palace to Macron while paying France a massive few billion quid to take it off our hands. After all, that does appear to be par for the course, doesn't it? And I gather that Charles and Emmanuel were in the lead carriage, with Camilla and Brigitte following in another carriage, possibly to prevent another of these episodes.
Oh dear. Oh, yeah.
Yes, so that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it, if that happened? You know, they're going along in the carriage and suddenly you get one shove in the face from Brigitte, and poor old Emmanuel left with a red face, as it were. Yeah, typical. Anyway, Richard, what do you make of all of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, at least Macron's husband, wife, didn't give him a slap when he got off the plane this time. Not that she, look, at the end of the day, Brigitte Macron is a beautiful woman, okay? And but you have to say, sorry, I don't know, I'm coughing all the time. But they're really over feminized her. I don't know if you've seen the photos of her for this visit, and it's almost as if they got something to prove. I can't think what that would be. I mean, what's his name? RuPaul or Raupol would be, jealous looking at how Brigitte is looking. Maybe even Raupol gave a few tips. If you don't know who Raupol is, then yeah, who knows? But he might have been given some ideas on how to become more feminine looking. Why am I talking about this? I have no idea. No, she's a beautiful woman, isn't she? Everywhere she goes, people go, oh, wow, Brigitte Macron, stunning woman. She must be a model. But I wouldn't want to stand next to her in a urinal, though. Yeah. But I mean, Brigitte Macron was a teacher. Let's not forget this. And in his, her 40s. And Emmanuel Macron was how old? 14, 15 years of age? Well, that's a little bit strange. I mean, that's according to Candice Owen, but yeah. And if you look at the tastes that King Charles, his brother, has, I mean, perhaps he sort of got used to that kind of sort of age difference sort of thing. King Charles's brother, he's witnessed sort of some of the allegations. Not that there's any truth in it, of course. No. You don't pay millions of pounds like that to shut somebody up if there's something behind it. No. But anyway, I'm sure King Charles finds this all very distasteful. And right now he's doing a bit of moisturizing of the rear in full preparation to bend himself and the nation over once again to prevent that terrible incursion that we have going on across this border. We haven't got a border anymore. That's what Charles is about to say to Macron. And but we all know, though, that Charles actually is about to bend this nation over once again and himself, because that's what he's doing. He's capitulating in his dialogue to try and say, oh, we've got a problem. Really, Your Majesty? Okay. Then why haven't you dissolved Parliament? Where's the courage of your conviction? Why did you dissolve Parliament over the grooming scandal? It makes me absolutely sick, to be honest with you, Jeff. This king of ours, he's not doing anything. No borders between us, Your Majesty. What is that, an aspiration? Or is it, an observation that a 2-year-old child could have made? Yeah, I mean, I just find it a little bit insane that our king is being wheeled out now to do some PR work, because look, we know where Keir Starmer stands on this, for goodness sake, Jeff. The Starmer, he campaigned for ages for open borders. That's the platform he stood on for a long time. I don't know. Over to you, Jeff. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, and as ever, we're getting wall-to-wall coverage, aren't we, of all this opulence, as Keir Starmer and his Chancellor Rachel Reeves screw down on us by wrecking the economy and removing our ability to earn for ourselves, as they start the process of preparing us for massive tax rises in August. not for us, these opulent dinners and these wonderful trips out and abroad and all the rest of it. Most people in this country are going to be lucky if they can feed themselves at the end of the month, the way things are going with this economy. And it's not really to do with the economy, it's how it's being run by these so-called politicians who are either a sort of a left-wing, I don't know, they just have no idea what they're doing, and they're screwing down on us. They're getting rid of people or people's wishes to do well in this country, and then we have this sort of thing thrown at us. It's really, so they were even discussing on GB News, they were discussing, oh, what are they going to be having for dinner? Oh, it will be the, and I'm thinking some people are sitting down to not having dinner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This is just ridiculous, really. I'm not a lefty, and I don't want, but what we should be doing is making sure that ordinary people can afford a decent meal every day or 3 and look after their children properly. This seems to be being robbed from us. I don't mind. Banquets, as long as everyone else can have a banquet of their own once in a while,
Yeah, well, they could have come over on the dinghies, couldn't they? They didn't have to increase their carbon footprint, did they? By flying in, they could have come across the dinghies. And, our lifeboat service would have been there to pick them up, I'm sure. Yes. But yes. The other day, though, for goodness sake, here we are. It's like we're sort of begging for the French to do their bloody job. That's what we're doing. We've given them millions of pounds. The other day, they went onto the beaches, the French police did, with the knives and actually slashed the boats to prevent them coming or going across, entering into the waters, which could be potentially extremely hazardous to those people on board. And, and prevented it from happening. And why couldn't they be doing this from the start? Why are they allowing this? It's insane. And yet, here we are putting on state banquet for somebody who's done bugger all to help us.
Don't mince your words. Don't mince your words, Richard.
No, I'm not. No, not today.
Cervantes has put a comment up saying Candace Owens has exposed Mr. and Mrs. Macron as a load of...
Well, I don't know if you saw Candace Owens' latest video.
No, I haven't. No.
One of her latest, in which she said that she had to cool down on what she was saying about Brigitte Macron potentially having a dangly bit between her legs, because Donald Trump had made a phone call to her to say that Macron would not engage in peace negotiations and help the peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia and help in that situation unless Candace Owens stopped talking about Brigitte Macron's dangly bit, alleged dangly bit. Which is not that Brigitte Macron has got a dangly bit, of course. That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? Yes.
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 Fur Q, thank you very much, Fur Q, has put this up. I don't know what made him say this, but he says he's got the overwhelming urge for 2 boiled eggs again.
Yes. Yes, I wonder what you're on about there.
Yeah, couldn't even guess. Yes.
Yeah.
And Andrew Roswell, the king is against us. Well, yeah, I'm not even sure he's sure of what he's against or for, to be honest.
I am.
I've
always
been
against us. He's against us. The man is not. The man is a traitor, as far as I'm concerned, and that's my own personal opinion. I can't say that's what he definitely is, but that's my.
I've got to admit, opinion. I am a believer in a constitutional monarchy because I don't. Having some multi-billion-pound president who then sets his son up for a presidency with multi-billion pounds is no different, really. But I'd rather have it sort of in a proper royal family who've been trained that. But this royal family doesn't seem to be holding on to the true beliefs of a constitutional monarchy. They actually want to become just the monarchy. The constitutional bit can go out the window. Government can go out the window. So that's how it appears to me anyway, gradually.
Yeah, but they've been, look, for a very long time, it's not just King Charles. Her late Majesty also sat back and watched evil take place in this land. And she also allowed the elevation in societal status of people like Mr. Savile, and to name but a few. And King Charles himself there, Jeff, he was good friends with a late Bishop Peter Ball, and something, something very interesting on him. And he's had some choice words for somebody who spoke out against the late Bishop Peter Ball, King Charles. And I think you've got the video there, have you not? And this is taken from a Panorama documentary from a few years ago, I believe. Do you have it there,
I'll
Jeff?
just bung this up now. Yeah.
Peter Ball was at Prince Charles's wedding with Camilla, and then Camilla's father died, and then he done the reading at the funeral. So he's still getting supported in everything that he does.
I can't bear it that the frightful, terrifying man is on the loose again and doing his worst. I was visiting the vicar, and he then told me that he'd heard that this ghastly man was up to his dastardly tricks again. I'll see off this horrid man if he tries anything again.
Oh. So King Charles says he'll see off this dastardly little man, this man who made allegations against the late Bishop Peter Ball, who was then found to have been, let's just say, of an ill repute character, like out of ill repute, to say the least, a Savile type. And then that young man, from what I can gather, this one who will be dealt with or done away or sorted out, whatever the King Charles just said, Prince Charles at the time, he then, that young man then, I believe he either took his life or he just died mysteriously. Yeah, in Australia, I believe it was. I'm not entirely sure. I might be wrong, but I mean, for goodness sake, wake up, people. These are the people who are running. We allow this to happen. We do need. I agree with you, Jeff. No, actually, I disagree. We don't need a monarchy, a constitutional monarchy. We need a king to come into this country. We've had other kings. It hasn't just been this specific royal family lineage. We need a new royal family, a new king to come in and sort this country out. Because right now, we're talking about the political route out, and I hope it will work. But other than that, we're looking at the potential. All I'm hearing everywhere is civil war is coming. So what are the options left? The only option we would have left is if there is civil unrest, is for a leader to emerge, a real, true leader for this nation. Someone who would not be bound and constrained by the civil service.
I somewhat agree, but it's. I still think the people do have a place in all of this. Now, Macron has today praised Keir Starmer for his continued commitment to improve EU ties, when what he means really is Starmer's continued moves to tie us to Brussels. We're already due to be sucked under ECJ jurisdiction again for all food produce in this country. And he's re-given our fishing grounds away to the European Union, predominantly to a very pleased France and Emmanuel Macron. And we're paying France to not stop all the rubber boats, except a few photo ops and all the rest of it. Just before the state visit, look what we're doing for you. And now we hear Starmer wants this one out, one in migrant agreement with France. Have you heard about that one? Where every single migrant that comes on a rubber boat, will be sent back to France. Oh, yes, they'll be sent back to France. But France will then put a different one on an aeroplane back to us. A legal immigrant into this country. So we get rid of an illegal and replace them with a legal one. Now, the idea is that will stop the boats coming across. But if that stops the boats coming across, then we won't be getting any in on the boats, so we won't be sending any back. We won't be sending any back to France and not receiving one in. So that means we won't be receiving anything from France. Do you think Macron's going to agree to that? To none coming across? Not on your Nelly. Not on your Nelly. there'll be something in that agreement that means we have to keep taking people, whether or not we send people back to France, whether or not we do that. It's
Yes.
bound to be in there. I've said it before, and I think it's just a big stitch up to get us joined in with the EU migration compact they've come up with in between themselves, where they all have to take 20,000 a year, 20,000, or get fined massively for not doing so. And France would love us to be in that group, and so would Keir Starmer. So no, I think it's an inward thing like that.
Yes, a
Yeah,
prime
I get
example.
really
Jeff.
wound up by these things.
Prime example, though, of how ineffective our constitutional monarch is. That's all I can say. He is fine about this. Where is King Charles coming out and saying, okay, we need to get this absolutely sorted. I will dissolve Parliament. Otherwise, if you don't get this sorted, I will dissolve Parliament, and this country can have a general election. Why isn't he even doing that? He's not even putting that forward as an option. Our country is in an absolutely dire state. People are livid, yet the king doesn't care. All he cares about is elevating some idiots. He just gave Sadiq Khan a knighthood, for goodness sake. And
he said he apologized for it taking so long, didn't he?
Yeah, and he said we should be more the other day he said we should be more welcoming to people coming across. That's what King Charles said. We need to be more welcoming to the new arrivals to this country. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry we're not doing enough for you, Your Majesty. Sorry that the tax burden isn't high enough on your people, Your Majesty.
Yes, and Furq has come back with another one saying, my dog's first of the day has a higher approval rating than Starmer. There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
And Paul Cowley says, I think they do know what they're doing, and that's the worrying thing. Yes, that is the worrying thing. It's not, after all this time, who can turn around and say, oh, that was all a big coincidence, wasn't it? It's just not on. It's just not on. Yes. Yeah, it is another good comment. From Morgan. I thought mayhem was going to happen in my grandkids' future, but now I think it's sooner. Yeah. Yes, a lot of people are saying that. Yeah.
The country's gone. The country's gone, and I keep going on. The king has just bent this country over a barrel, and it makes me sick. I mean, I'm reading here in the Telegraph, was it 2 days ago? Labour Council bans military equipment from Armed Forces Day.
Yeah.
A Labour-run council this in the Telegraph, has banned military equipment from its Armed Forces Day over fears of causing offence. The City of York Council said the kit, which could range from weapons to vehicles, would no longer be welcome at the show in light of residents' concerns. Your Majesty, your own armed forces, what are they going to do? Turn up in probably with rainbow lanyards on? Is that what?
And the very first flood that comes along in a river somewhere, they'll all be crying for the sandbags, someone coming to deliver the sandbags and all the rest of it, and the shovels, and put them back in, aid to the civil power and all of that. They just need to say, nope, we're busy on something else. We're not coming, that you don't want us, you don't want us, you don't need us. It just drives me potty. These people are they are anti-UK, totally anti-UK. That's all there is to it. They hate the UK, and they hate the people that protect them day in, day out. They're just,
Thank you to Mutley for your super chat. The phony King of England. Absolutely. And there's a very good documentary on that. Pretty much with, what's his name? Tony Robinson, not Tommy Robinson, Tony Robinson, is it? He used to do Time Team. I think I got the right person. And he did it on the real King of England. If you go on YouTube, you'll find a very, very good documentary about who the real King of England is, and was, rather. He's passed away now, but his son is now technically the real King of England. And he lives out in Australia. And I think you've got like Princess Charlene and all that kind of thing. But he seemed like a really decent bloke, the chap who should have been the king. There we go.
Yeah. So where did you say that that was taking place? That where they're not liking British military, don't want them there?
That is it. I think it's in York. The City of York
In
Council
York.
said the kit.
In Yorkshire. Yeah, because it's quite funny. The stories come out this morning that Yorkshire is running low on water. Yes. We're part of an island nation and we're running out of water. With possibly 5 million people affected and tough water restrictions to come until next winter. I bet they'll love the soldiers if they turn up with water stanchions and lots of tankers full of water, won't they?
But why are we running out of water? Surely we've got enough water to, that's all been factored in for our official demographic and our official population numbers. I mean, what are you trying to say here, Jeff? You're trying to say we've got more people living in the country than the official stats say? Good grief, you'll be sounding like one of those major
Never
supermarkets.
would I ever hint at that.
One of those major supermarkets who said exactly the same thing when they looked at the amount of bread and basic staples that were being used. And they worked out that the population of this country is far higher than we're actually being told. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and Jamie Chippett says, I feel for you guys in Great Britain. Well, thanks very much. And Morgan comes back again. Europe is in trouble. I would say that. I say we are in trouble. You know, and it's been foisted on us. It's been forced on us. This is all part of the global leveling up thing. They want everyone to be the same. In every country you go to, you'll get the same things everywhere. So no one has to move. But that means leveling us firmly down, right down, in order to achieve that. It's not going up. We're not going up unless we look after ourselves. And that's our job, is to look after ourselves. I'm sorry, we're not here to provide the social services for the world when we can't even afford to put our former homeless soldiers into somewhere. No, doesn't work. Yes. Anyway, so I'm reading through the comments, trying to find something I can put up. Yeah. I just said the same thing this morning. The monarch does not have to come from this family that currently resides in our palaces. Yeah, there is a lot to be said for that. It's constitutional monarchy can work as long as the people in the constitutional monarchy know their place. Their place is not to dictate policy over the people. That's different.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm just reading here in the Daily Mail. Humiliating moment. Emmanuel Macron is ignored by his wife Brigitte, as he offers her a helping hand off the plane before French President air kisses the Princess of Wales ahead of meeting King. And I'm just looking at Brigitte coming down and just like, yes, there's absolutely no. Yeah. Oh dear.
Not all is sweetness and light in family Macron then. Yes. Oh dear. Just trying, and a Grenadier Guardsman or Guards person said 100% agree. New family needed. New royal family needed. Yeah, it's one of these things. It's all about people. It's all about the consent of the people at the end of the day. If we've got a good system, then the people go along with it. But right now, the people are catching on pretty damn fast that what we banded up with is a completely crap system that is falling apart at the seams, except for the people at the top. They seem to get on quite nicely, don't they? As I said, I bet you, even if there is a water shortage, the taps in the palace will still keep flowing, and they won't worry one jot. They'll look out the window and say, "Where's the problem?" Yes, anyway, there you go. Yes, John Johnson says, why are people still surprised by Starmer's actions? He's a traitor, pure and simple. Yeah, I can understand that. He's giving away far too much and getting nothing for us in return. Have you heard of this concept of soft power? We're really good at soft power. Soft power only works if you've got a great big iron hard power behind it. And we haven't got the military, we haven't got the political will. The only political will we have are politicians who are prepared to do anything to virtue signal to their international politics mates. Yep, that's all they do. Oh, look at me. I got our country to give all their money away to the poor. Aren't I wonderful? That's where we're at now, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're at. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've vented my spleen enough. I don't know about you, Richard. Have you vented your spleen enough?
Yeah,
yet?
so I got a cough, a tickly cough today. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Anyway, if you could like, subscribe, and comment below, and please become a channel member by pressing the join button, which I gather is now available on an Android phone. So
Yes.
you could join us, and I do try to put out some extra content when I can. I'm 2 days behind at the moment, but I will catch up, because just so you know, it's out there on the internet anyway, in places like Facebook. I was busy over the weekend because on Saturday I was baptized into the Orthodox Church. So
Yes.
I'm now a full member of the Orthodox Christian Church, and on Sunday I was taking my first communion. So I was a little bit busy over the weekend, and my mind has been otherwise occupied. And Richard has been ill as well. He had real serious man flu, really serious man flu, I'll have you know.
I still made it.
And he's
I
still there
drove all the
suffering
way
at the
down
moment.
I still crossed that Severn Bridge to England. I still made it across. No, it was a very incredible thing. I think it was very beautiful, Jeff. You know, your baptism. I met some lovely people there. Chap Paul, lovely to meet you, Paul, as well. He watches the show and he was there, and very nice to meet you, as well as a lot of others there. But one of the things I did notice, Jeff, is something I've seen in other Orthodox churches, and there's a lot of talk about this, and the amount of young men who were there, you know, decent looking young men, and you could see that they got their mind, their values, everything was just spot on. This is not something you can fake. This is not cultural Christianity, right? For goodness sake, these were men who were solidified in their theology and in their belief system, and then therefore morally. And I can tell you now, it was an incredible thing to watch. If you want to know what the answer to this country is, and I'll be talking about this in another video, it's not. Look, I know we're looking at reform, we're looking at all these different political parties, Ben Habib's party, this new thing from Rupert Lowe, which are all very good, yes, well, and UKIP as well, wonderful, wonderful. But the real answer, I saw the real answer with my own eyes, at your baptism, Jeff, and that was young men looking there, strong, proud, you know, tough men. And I thought, that's it. But why are they? Never mind this muscular Christianity nonsense either. I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I cannot go down that line. Christianity is Christianity. And yes, it is muscular as default. It gives you a set of values. But this is proper Christianity, not this woke nonsense that you'll get in, you know, the Anglican churches. And, you know, I'm sorry. I find it there are some good Anglican churches still. There's some good Anglican priests still. I'm friends with one very, very good Anglican priest, incidentally. But the problem is, it's just not cutting the mustard. If you want the authentic thing, yes. But I've sat on the fence on this for a while, Jeff, to be honest with you, because people say, well, I'm a Christian and I've got these beliefs. And so have I. I'm not ordained. I haven't been brought into the Orthodox faith myself, but I was there, I was watching, I was just like, this is it. That's it. That's it. You can't, I can't say any more. The Catholics out there, Protestants, you know, I'm sure you're doing well with God. Great. But I'm thinking, for the actual answer to this country and to all the rest of it, get yourself to an Orthodox church. That's the end of it.
And you will be welcomed. They'll talk, you know, and you'll see lots of young children there. They're being brought up, and it's a completely different atmosphere. You'll be surprised by the number of candles and icons and stuff like that, but you soon get used to it. Anyway, all I got to say is that decision is up to you. All I've done is I've made that decision. And on that note, I will say that it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him. Goodbye.